Alright, so the first topic is going to be const and let. So they are mainly from ES6, so they are kind of new to JavaScript. And they were created to make the code more synthetic. And this, of course, leads to less writing and make the code more readable. Okay, so that's fine. So var, var something, and that something gets value, for example, whatever. So we know this. We've been doing this for years right now. So with const and let with ES6, we are not going to use var anymore. This is old. We're going to use const and let, of course. So what are const and let? Let's start with const. We're gonna get to start with the first one. So we will use const whenever we expect the value of the content inside the const not to change. So once we declare const, this should never change throughout the whole application. And of course, we have let, which is the opposite of that. We can mutate let as much as we want. So maybe you are asking yourself, what is the point of this? Well, let me explain you with an example. I'm just gonna give you a dumb example. I'm gonna say that we have a cupcake app and we have three variables. One with a type, one with a flavor, one with a price. Real simple. So I'm gonna say in ES5, okay? So I have a type, and the type is a cupcake. Real simple. We have a cupcake app. So I have a cupcake. We have a flavor. So it's gonna be a flavor, and the flavors are gonna be apple. So then I have price. So I say var price, and this one is gonna be $5. So okay. So the first question of this is which variables are expected to change. So cupcake, it's kind of a category. So it's the essence of the product. So I say that this one is not changeable. So I'm gonna go right here, and instead of var, I'm gonna use const. Okay. So now the next one. Okay. So we have the next one is the flavor. So maybe in the future, I don't know. I'm just assuming in the future, the owner comes in and says, okay, I want to change the flavor name to something else, maybe just awesome apple. Okay, just maybe this one is gonna change. So I'm gonna do let. Okay. The next one is gonna be the price. Okay. Well, this economy, the price is gonna change for sure. So I'm gonna go and say let. Okay. So we have these three variables. And again, you just might be asking yourself why. Well, let's say maybe in the future, maybe a year from now, a different developer or maybe yourself, you are gonna come right here to the code. You can read the code and you can have, you're gonna say, I have three variables, and you're gonna instantly know that this one. It's kind of a variable that should never change. So if you change it, you might be breaking the code. So you should never change this one. And this one and this one can change, or you are expecting to change, and if it changes, nothing happens. So this is the main point of this. And besides, we have an additional feature with this. So we const and let we make the core code a little bit clearer and organized. For example, we want to mutate the type. You can get an error message. So if I say type, I make reference to this variable cupcake, and I just do something else. For example, to something else, and I just reload the page. We get an error message. So ES6 has a built-in section or whatever that it always the reason for this. And if you are trying to reassign a variable and has a const, it's gonna just kind of let you know, it's gonna give you an error message. You shouldn't do this. This one should be let because you are changing it later on the application. And if I run the code, nothing happens. So this is the main idea of this. You are not going to use var any longer. It's goodbye by var, welcome, const, and let. Okay. Okay. So now I want to talk about the scope of const and let. So I'm gonna give you just a simple example with ES5, and then we can take it to ES6. Just to make sure that you can understand what I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna say winner. Var just gonna create a variable that's gonna be winner, and it's gonna be equal to true. So then I have a function that is gonna be called user, and this user function, what it's gonna do it grabs this winner variable, and it's gonna change it to false. Something real simple. And then I just want to console log the winner. I'm gonna just trigger the function. Okay. So I'm gonna reload the page and we get false. So in theory, if we look at this code, well, it's going right here. It's grabbing this variable winner and it's changing it to false. And then we just output it. Now, if I just copy this and paste it outside the function, this winner is going to be true. So it's not going through there, even though we are running the function before this. The thing is that whenever we call the variable outside our function, this variable is going to be the local scope of variable. I'm sorry, the global scope. So whenever we declare a variable outside the function, this one is going to be stored in the global scope, which is pretty much the browser, okay, the window. But if we declare a variable inside the function, this variable is going to be stored in the local scope of a function. Okay, something real simple. We say local variable now. So again, if I just go here and console log, we get false. You know, this one, this winner is gonna be just this one and not the one in the global scope. I'm just gonna delete this and I'm gonna give you a different example. I'm gonna say bar, and again just create a variable that's gonna be a value, and this one is gonna have a value of 10. I'm gonna have again winner, and winner is gonna be equal to true, and I'm gonna say if, and then the if statement is just gonna check if value is equal to 10, and if it is, we want to grab this variable winner and we want to change it to false. I'm gonna say winner equals false, and then of course I want to console log the winner. So in theory, what should happen right now, if we follow the same function example we just did, this winner is gonna be equal to true because it's outside this one. Okay, I reload the page and we get the false. Now the local scope only applies to the functions, not if statement. So whenever we call the var winner, it's gonna be a reference to the one in the global scope. So again, if we do this or this inside the function, it's pretty much the same thing, you know. So again, we can use local scope inside the function, and that's why we know this. We've been doing this for years. So okay, I'm gonna just change the code a little bit. I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna say, okay, this one is the value. It's not gonna change. I can say const the var winner. In theory, we are gonna change it. I'm gonna say let, and if I do it, do let again. Let which is pretty much change everything. Const to let. Same idea, different variable names. So okay, I'm gonna reload the page, and in theory we should be getting false, of course, because we are changing it right here. We are gonna reload the page and we get true. So this is because lab has their own scope. Since we are using it inside, and if this means that it's gonna work inside if, and if we console log the variable from the if, of course we kept false because we are making a reference to winner, but inside the scope of if, so we get false. You know, this is kind of mind-blowing. It's kind of game changer with variable and in JavaScript. You know, it's really awesome when you just review this one, not this one from ES6. It was just incredible. You know, it's really different. It's a big difference. So now inside the winner, if I wanted to, for example, to make a reference to the variable, the let that we have on top, we do pretty much the same thing.